I've been working on, sort of mentally and otherwise, on how to design a perfect small home that's inexpensive. And you think people have done it, but they haven't. Because what people have done is they've taken an expensive house that's really awesome, and then they made it tiny and said, oh, how about a tiny house? It'll be inexpensive. And it is inexpensive, but it's also no fun to live in. So what I've been trying to design for years, on paper and mentally and every other way, is something that's small and inexpensive, more inexpensive than small, but that would be better than an expensive home. And there's no reason you can't have that if you design it right. So here's my idea so far. The foundation would be pylons that would be adjustable. So I think the cheapest kind of foundation that you could do would be 4 pylons that maybe have a lever that you can adjust them so that you get them the right height. And then I'm imagining that you have ways to connect little units. So let's say every room is pre-designed so that there is no nailing and no sawing. And every part of the house can fit into the back of a pickup truck. Not at the same time, but if you were building your own house, you could go get a pickup truck full, unload it with maybe 2 people, and just clip it together until you have a home. So if it doesn't clip together with no sawing, cutting, or nailing, and you can't do it with 2 people, and you can't fit it in the back of a pickup truck, it's not quite there yet. But the other thing you would do is have each room sort of designed as a perfect room, so you don't have to guess what is a good room. You just get the package. But each room would have 2 doors. So if you only could afford one of them, you'd have a front door and a back door. But if you were going to buy more than one unit, either at the same time or later, the back door would just be the entrance to the next room, which would then have another back door. So you want modules that you can buy as many of them as you want. They fit together. People can assemble them on their own. They're one story so that you don't have as much risk of multiple stories. And there you go. All right. And lots of natural light, right? If you get the natural light right and you get the acoustics right, you have a very livable place. So it seems to me, and by the way, somebody can help me with this, the primary thing that you would need to develop to make these awesome homes that are also small is glass walls, the kind that open and close, inexpensively. If you could get standardized glass walls that are also the kind that can open up like a Hawaii lanai, and make them in quantity so that they're all the same and they're really cheap, you could have the most awesome little homes with, like, say, 1 total glass wall looking out onto something attractive. All right. Yeah, the trouble with having something like an Airstream or a trailer is that you don't have light. So you need more of at least 1 wall of light with a curtain over it. All right, so there you go. Now the people who say no thanks, you're not really understanding what I'm talking about. So any one of you who says, I wouldn't live in that house, you're really missing the point. It's not for you. It's not for you. We're not trying to build the super inexpensive home for all of you. It's for the people who couldn't find a better option, I could have a double wall in the middle of the house. Well, there are a million design considerations. That would be one of them, I guess. Aerated concrete. Here's what I wouldn't want to do. I wouldn't want to do anything you couldn't pull apart with your bare hands. In other words, I'd want a house that you don't have to chip anything away or scrape anything away or even paint. So if you're painting, scraping, chiseling to redo anything later, then you did it wrong. It should be just unassemble and reassemble. All right. Calling Elon Musk, yeah. It does seem like it would be a high-tech thing, not a building. I believe the building industry will never be able to do this. I think it's going to have to come from a tech company. Somebody's talking about the boxable houses. I think that's the name of them. So you've seen some that fold up. They somehow make the house fold up. It's a very small house. They can put it on the back of a tractor trailer and they can deliver it. This is exactly not what I'm talking about. So when you're talking about those little, factory-made unfolding houses, could not be further from what I'm talking about. So, and unfortunately, everybody's mind goes to those little homes. They are so poorly designed, it's not even in the universe of what I'm talking about. If it isn't a cool, great design, it's no good. Let me give you an example. I was in a two-bedroom condo in Hawaii. So space-wise, it was very small. It was just like a little vacation thing. But because the entire front wall was a nice view and it opened up to a lanai, it didn't seem like a small space. And in fact, we paid a great deal of money for this small space. Because the simple addition of a wall with a good view changes entirely the experience from a thing you would never want to be in to a vacation home. It was literally a vacation destination just because of the glass wall. That's the only thing about it that was special. Everything else was completely ordinary and, fairly pedestrian. Pickup truck sized would suck. You are not understanding the pickup truck concept. The pickup truck doesn't mean you put the whole house in the pickup truck. It means that you go to the let's say lumber yard or whatever, and you get the components, the pieces, and then you drive there and you take each piece and you put it together. So each piece might be something one person could hold in their hands. Yeah, anything foldable is a problem. I wouldn't do anything foldable. Interchangeable parts. Yeah, and the other thing you'd want is that all of your interior and exterior walls could be changed easily with facades. So imagine, if you will, you had brick facades. So they're thin, but from the outside it looks like a brick. And they just clip to the front of your home or to the inside walls. And then if you say, I'm tired of a brick wall, you just take them off and replace them with some other kind of design. Yeah, everyone wants to pretend your ideas have already been done. That's one of the things I always deal with. People will always say, that's being done, and then they'll describe something that's not even close. In fact, they'll describe the thing I said, I want to not do this, I want to not do X, so whatever I'm doing, don't do X, that's the thing I don't want to do. And then somebody will say, people are already doing X. And I'll say, no, I know people are already doing X, that's not what I want. I want to do something that's not X. But Scott, there's already X. No. You know what I mean.